In this video, I'm going to show you how to automate your options trading by using webhooks. Webhooks are actually a lot more simple than you think, and it allows us to connect TradingView to our broker. That way, if we have an indicator signal, an alert signal, a group alert, or we just have a trend line broken, whatever it is, we can have that trigger an entry in our broker. And that entry could be a credit spread, an iron condor, could be a ratio spread, whatever it is we want to trigger that so that it enters at the perfect time for us. So let me walk you through exactly how to do that. So if we're looking at TradingView is one of the best platforms to do this. And the reason being is because TradingView supports webhooks. And so if we're diving into it here, I'm going to give two big examples. And so the first one's based on an indicator and the second one is based on a level. So let's say you are a long-term options seller where you like to trade put credit spreads 45 days out and you like to take advantage of the uptrending market. And so maybe you found that the best times to enter is when the market trends up, okay? So let's just map out what's happening here. Let's say the following. You like trading SPY, and when you trade SPY, you like entering when it crosses above, so it'd be greater than, I'll say crosses above the moving average. You say, hey, when SPY breaks above this moving average line, my trades tend to work out better. And when I do enter a trade, it's a 45 DTE credit spread, I should say PCS, put credit spread, and then we can structure that. And then again, when I enter, I like to manage the trade at a 50% take profit, and I do a 21-day early management. Again, this is very much of a Tasty Live approach if you ever heard of them. Regardless, we can set up the rules however we want. This is just the first example. So these are all the conditions, aka what asset I'm doing it on, what action I want to trigger my entry on, and how I want to enter and be managed. Now I can actually put this into work. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the symbol against SPY. I've already done that. From here, I'm going to make a trigger when it crosses the moving average. I do this by putting on an alert, and I say price, aka the price of SPY, when price crosses up or crosses above, goes from under to above or above to below to above, crosses up. Now I'm going to put the simple moving average. So when it crosses above the moving average line, then I want to trigger something. And so what am I triggering? Well, I'm going to trigger this automation service called the Options Autotrader. Now, why this webhook service over others? Because most webhook services were not built for options. They were built for stocks. And so you can only send off single orders. Like maybe you could buy a put at a time or buy one call, but you can't actually send all the orders at one time. Maybe it's an iron condor or 4-leg trade, or in this example, a 2-legged trade. And not only that, but this system actually monitors the trade so that it can track it and actually close the trade when you want to. And so that's why I prefer this service. Again, I am biased for using webhooks for options because it's actually built for that. Anyways, you can see here, I'm just going to create an auto trader, again, which is basically just a bot that I want to manage the trade. So again, I'm going to be setting up this bot based on how I want it to trade. So I'll pick up credit spread. I'm making sure to put credit spread, like I mentioned, SPY 45 DTE. And so let's just say this is how I structure my credit spread. If you want to enter a credit spread a different way, you can pick that as well. Next, again, we're going to use advanced entries. So we're going to enter based on a webhook. So I'm going to enable the webhook. Next, how do I want my trade to be managed? Once I've been in the trade, how do I want it to close it? Like I mentioned, 50% take profit is what I like. And I like to close the trade early at 21 days. This is around best practice around this, just like that. And then next, I just tell it how much money I want this bot to trade with. Let's say I want this bot to trade with no more than $2,000. Save like that. You can see here, I've created a bot. It shows me some approximate metrics that I can expect. If I agree with it, if the settings are all right, I can authorize and save this auto trader. When I save it, it gives me this webhook URL, just like this. So I can copy this webhook, and now I can connect it to TradingView. You can see here, I made the conditions in TradingView already. I'll go to notifications, and under webhook URL, I am simply just going to paste this webhook. And so just like that makes the connection. This means that whenever this signals, whenever this triggers an alert, it's then going to notify this link, which is then going to execute this bot. And so again, this bot, as mentioned before, if we go check out the dashboard here, it's the one I just recreated. This bot, once triggered, will go to SPY. It will find the expiration date closest to 45 days. It will create a put credit spread where it sells at the 25 delta and buys at the 10 delta. Once that trade is then on, it will then manage the trade, okay? You can see here previous examples of another SPY 45 DTE credit spread I had. You can see here, the trade went on, it got managed, and it closed at my 50% take profit, actually 51.7, did a bit better. and you can see the performance on it. And that's how great it is, because it'll even manage it for me. And so that's how you automate your trading using a webhook. Now that's for a long-term strategy. So let me give you another example of a shorter-term strategy. So again, I'm going to turn this bot off. I don't want it executing. I don't want one of you guys stealing my webhook and placing trades on my broker. If we dive into here, the next example is going to be if you're doing more of a short-term trading, because I know a lot of you guys do like trading on a short-term basis. So let's say I go to a 1-minute chart. So let me give you an example here. Maybe you're a busy working professional, but you spend your evenings charting out the stocks, looking at what's going on, but you just don't actually have time to place the trade during the day because of meetings, because of work and things like that. And so let's say overnight, you notice that this was a resistance level because it topped out here. And you're thinking, okay, I bet if it breaks above this level tomorrow, that we'll see a spike up, and I can take advantage of that by buying a call, or maybe doing a put credit spread, or whatever type of strategy you want to do to take advantage of it. And so you could do the same thing with this system, okay? This becomes our new action. We click on this trend line, we click on the alert, and we say, hey, when price breaks above or crosses up of the trend line, and then again, I can make sure that it's only during market open hours by changing some settings, by making sure it's not on extended hours, but I'm not going to change that for this example. And so whenever it breaks above, then it'll enter, let's say I'll buy a call, or it'll do a put credit spread. However, I want to take advantage of that upward move. And let's say maybe I want to lock in a 10 to 20% return. I can quickly do that here. I'll just go into the options autotrader, set up a bot that mimics what I want it to do for me. Maybe it's buy a call, maybe it's take profit at 10%, maybe it's close for a stop loss at 10%. It's about a 50-50 break even there. And now with you trading the direction of the trend, it will automatically place the trade through your broker, manage the trade, and you'll be all set all while you're at work. So this is exactly how you can use webhooks, whether you're connecting an indicator, a signal, a strategy, a trend line, to actually connect it to the broker and have it not only execute your options trades in one order, but also have it manage the trade for you so that you can walk away and let it do its thing. Again, you can always manage it yourself, but if you're trying to fully automate, this is the way you do it. If you want to get started, again, there's a great discount for your first month to try out the options auto trading. You can click that first link down below.